Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be playing with what's become one of my favorite weapons since the DLC came out, which is the Euporia. Now, if you've watched the channel for a while, you know that I absolutely adore twin blades. I love using them, and this thing's no different. It adds what's pretty much a Genshin Impact a Genshin Impact mechanic into Elden Ring with the luster stacks. So, based on if you have one or two luster stacks, which come from hitting opponents 5 or 10 times, you are going to be able to supercharge your Ash of War, causing a gigantic beam. And if I'm not mistaken, this was buffed in one of the patches right after the DLC, making it stronger. And yeah, this thing's absolutely disgusting. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it's probably in the top 10 best weapons for running through the game with. And while Twin Blades are not, the cream of the crop when it comes to PvP, it is still able to put in quite a lot of work if we bamboozle our opponents. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and have some fun with this thing. Because trust me, this thing is crazy fun to use. Alright, boys. This one's been 2 months in the making since we got our internet back. How you doing, Puddin' Pop? That's right. Dad's back with the milk, and it's time to cover what has quickly become one of my favorite weapons, like I already stated. Uh, absolutely cooked that poor dude right there. He just didn't know what we were doing. Yeah, man. Quite a few changes have happened to Twin Blades since I last spoke about them, and at least when it comes to my personal enjoyment of Elden Ring, I absolutely adore these weapons for just about almost every reason, as well as new developments in terms of my personal opinion in terms of their viability. Now, granted, they are strictly worse than they were in 1.10, but I think that they're in a phenomenal place balance-wise right there. By the way, since it just happened, that is a good example of why the charge attack right there, well, no, not charge attack, the Ash of War is such a good finisher. Since you can turn with the beam as it's happening, if you guys have a good connection, you probably will not be able to roll through all of it. So it is a very good thing for wrapping somebody's stock up. Stock. Okay, like I guess I'm an investor now. Yo, we're actually investing out here. That's actually what I've been doing for the last 2 months. Um, but yeah, spinning slash got fixed. It no longer has hyper armor. It has a little bit less forward momentum, and it also does not do quite as much stagger buildup. GG's to Mr. Calx right there. I got greedy and tried to R1 out of hit stun. And also the poise damage on the two-handed moveset is a teensy bit lower. But as we're going to see in this duel, excuse me, as well as some others, you being able to poise count is so important. You need to know the poise values of this thing. So, I used to cite the one-handed moveset as horrible because the R1 variations only do 100 poise damage. But the truth of the matter is that it's actually, in the context of how Twin Blades work, it's a godsend. And the reason why is because it helps your bread and butter be even stronger, okay? So you need to know what the different poise values of Twin Blade are, okay? Now, when it comes to the two-handed moveset, it did get nerfed in a recent patch. When it comes to the two-handed R1s, the first hit of any of your R1s, no, that's actually not true, of your first R1 is going to be 40 poise damage, and then the second hit is either 60 or 70, I'm not quite sure which. Russ Bucket made a video where he showed the Twin Blade, its second hit being 60, but in the frame data checker it says 70. Either way, regardless of which one it is, you only need 111 poise to get through the two-handed R1, which sounds extremely shit, and in a technical sense, I suppose it is, but actually, hang on. Watch this real quick. Watch this. Huh? Okay, yeah, so we actually just got shish kebabbed right there. I want to know that man's stats pronto. I have never been Giza wheeled like that. That was fucking crazy. GG's, bro. Um, but yeah, so anyway, you're only doing a little bit of poise damage with that right there. But when it comes to the Twin Blades, your most important attack is your running R2. The first hit is not a guaranteed poise break, but it is unreactable, and it lines up perfectly for a roll catch if they try panic rolling the first hit. But the thing is that the first hit does about 68 point something, like 68.5 poise damage or something like that. So you have to set up the running R2. See, right there I just did what's either 60 or 70 poise damage. So I know that next time I go for a running R2, would you look at that? It poise broke. And then the second hit of the running R2 does over 200 poise damage, so there's not a chance of them making it through it. But the way that this comes back to the one-handed move set, and as well as to why I'm using the dagger and the offhand, is when if you look past the poise damage, the one-handed moveset's actually decent. Like, you have good forward momentum, your backswings are very generous in terms of their range. Also, once again, watch this finisher here in just a second. This right here is quite shiced. Hang on. So, we act like we're going to go in, and we hit the Omega Nut. GG's, dude. But, yeah, if you do 100 poise damage to somebody, whether it be a phantom hit or an actual hit, then you're always going to poise break with even your R1s, but also your R2s, your running R2s. Now, this guy right here, he's not having a particularly great time, getting absolutely boned over there, but he's doing okay now. But we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, trust that there's not a phantom hiding somewhere, and we're gonna give him a good little duel. Now, interestingly, one of the worst matchups for Twin Blade are hyper armor weapons. And that is because if you do partial poise damage and then they attack before you get to attack again. Oh! Charged R2. Let's go, baby. GG's, dude. But yeah, if you say do like 40 poise damage here, 50 poise damage there, and then they swing their weapon, it will essentially heal their poise damage. But yeah, so oftentimes it is just a good idea to swap to a different weapon against hyper armor. And also, it can be a little bit hard to properly count poise in invasions because of just how hectic things are. But the thing is that Twin Blades, if there's one thing that Twin Blades are really good at, and the Euporia is no different, it is dookying damage just everywhere. Or in the case of the Euporia's Ash of War, nutting damage just everywhere, right? And so when you look at the like full move set, whether you're talking about fighting actual people or playing through the base game, Twin Blades always have something. They may not be the best, but you can you have to use your brain with Twin Blades. Like, it's very easy to just run at your opponent and press the running R2 button, but it takes extra work to get there in comparison to, and look at that beautiful finish right there, that beautiful finisher. But to be able to set up that running R2 to be as scary as it can be is going to be sort of like the in quotation skill check that you have to do with this weapon, whether it be with a dagger or one of your other moves. Chip their poise, and then you get to start playing like you like you're a real threat. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, when people want to mash into you in invasions, I mean, you get to stack so many buffs. And they just benefit so greatly from the consecutive attack talismans that, yeah, I mean, oftentimes you will win mash-offs. See right there, we damaged his poise some. Now, granted, he is a laggy boy, so we did not get what should have been an attack right there. But something that I should cover is that it's going to reveal itself in due time that this is a very goofy goober invasion, okay? Just about nothing goes right for me or the host's team, okay? Now, I don't know if I've quite found it out yet, but there are three in the world right now, and they're all quite separated. The host is just letting his phantom get hit right here, to which I say thank you, dude. And what's his decision making? Just jump right off, bro. Life is too hard for some people, and sometimes Kevin just has to go straight off the cliff. Speaking of which, this guy is using the the jar cannon, trying to do the exact same to us, and it is through pure luck that I did not get hit off because truthfully I was not trying to evade at all. Okay, I didn't know that he was shooting at me, and then had a blue ball of fire whiz straight past my face. So that's good, I suppose. We're still in it now. Great katanas, at least in terms of my little bit of playing since I came back. I think that great katanas have a good or bad matchup against Twin Blade based on which Twin Blade it is. If it's the Rakshasa, I think that Twin Blade is a horrendous weapon against the Rakshasa. L1 waggling right there, yo, GG's dude, super epic gamer. But yeah, the thing is that the Rakshasa, with its built-in hyper armor and it being a ridiculous amount of hyper armor at that, I just don't think is a good matchup for Twin Blade at all. But when it comes to the other types that do not have that, I think Twin Blade actually has a very respectable matchup. So this is what I mean by Goofy Goober. We have more over here just blocking and then just not blocking long enough for me to kill him. And the host just goes flying straight off the ledge. So, GG's, guys, I suppose. Now, this right here is a perfect example of oh shit! I was gonna say this is a perfect example of how hard Twin Blades absolutely shit on people who are not running good poise. Okay, the reason that I struggle so bad sometimes when fighting other people that are using Twin Blades is because they are a gigantic poise check weapon. You can make them strong by counting your opponent's poise when you have someone that's running like a lot of poise. But if they're just not running that much, you are going to tear them a new one, okay? It is ridiculous what you can do. Now here, we have a team fight going on. You love to see it. Tried mashing out of hit stun, did not work too well. We turn our attention for just a second to help our teammate right there. And would you look at that? That's what he needed to get that running attack and send him packing. So that's super good. Now, it's also worth mentioning that Twin Blades are phenomenal chase down weapons. A lot of people will swap to like the Padas and stuff like that as their chase down weapon of choice. And there's nothing wrong with the Padas. They are the toothpicks from hell. But Twin Blades are super underrated in this regard. Whether you're talking about your phenomenal running R2, being able to built-in roll catch so well, or you're talking about your running R1. The running R1 does come out, I believe it's 2 or 3 frames later on the first hit, but the good thing about it is that you have more forward momentum and you have a better hitbox for targets that are either lower in elevation than you or using an animation that is crouching, because the running R2 can just miss on people that are in, say, some animation that causes them to crouch pretty low. Are we hitting the Omega Nut? Okay, we only hit it a little bit. But, yeah, and also the running R1 is really good against light rollers, too. So, yeah, don't sleep on that. Generally speaking, you're going to be going for that running R2, but you definitely can go for the running R1 when it is the time and place for it. Now, this invasion right here, there was a couple painful ones, I'm not going to lie. You might be able to see the pain already. This is an example of what pain looks like for those who are the uninitiated. The skulls are bullshit. Okay? They took away faith intelligent builds in the form of dark and chaos and gave us this travesty. Honestly, like, I don't even know what to say, bro. They took away the one of the best infusions from Dark Souls 3 and gave us the skull emojis. I'm just truly at a loss for words. But yeah, because of that skull spam and also desynced wave of piss, and I don't know if it's inescapable or unendurable. It's one of the two. Whichever one, the frenzy spell that can just one shot you. We don't have a choice but to run a lot, okay? Like, we're getting absolutely fried right here, right? We just don't have a choice but to just keep running and running and running. And you know, I still have in the back of my mind making that video asking the question, why is it that invaders spend as much time as they do running? And you know, it's a good question. I understand as somebody who hosts from time to time that it is annoying having an invader run away for 20 minutes. And sometimes that's because the invader doesn't know how to engage. Other times, look at that desync. Look at that desync. Yeah, bro, this game's so cooked, bro. But anyway, sometimes it's because the invader doesn't know how to engage all that great, which is fine. We're all there at some point. But other times it's because you're fighting shit like this and you don't have a choice. Okay? Now, thankfully, the Black Knight there was able to pack one of the guys up for us, barely evade the waves of piss. And now it's time, boys. Your waves of piss ending. Bro, I'm so good at the one language I speak. I'll just edit that out. Your days of spamming Wave of Piss are about to come to a close. Spamming out of hitstun with a tiny amount of HP, truly one of the plays of all time. GG's, dude. GG's. But yeah, as I was saying, like, sometimes, like, this is a game that has not only spells that home in on you, have a gigantic cone radius, but also it has combo casting. We're all familiar with these things. Like, there are invasions, and we will have more examples later. More example later of invasions that are just absolutely riddled with this type of gameplay, you know. And so, with that being said, hello, Kevin. We once again have another Kevin. Okay, but like, let me take 2 seconds and ask, why do people wear the Radon armor? It is legitimately like a 4 out of 10 armor set. Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Someone please tell me in the comments, why do people use that set of armor so much? I just personally do not think it looks that cool. Just me, at least. Now, part of the reason that I love Faith Hybrid is just being able to hurl nukes at my opponent. That's always super fun. And I can't remember if this demi-human queen has a health bar or not, but we are playing with a sense of urgency, because if it got a big boss health bar, we're cooked once it dies. So, at least as of this point, that is what I'm doing. Now, I see this guy right here, and I immediately am like, oh shit. Okay? We're doing a offhand dueling shield with the carrion slicer. That is disgusting. Get that beautiful swap right there. That was so needed. That was a huge kill right there. But the thing is that carrion slicer does, I think, 51 poise damage, and I am able to finally tank it, like so, if I put on the Bulgo Talisman. So, hey, with my drip, I may not be able to tank through very much, but at least I can tank a carrion slicer. So, you know, I consider that a win. You feel me? But yeah, I'm going to be making another video this week about Faith Hybrid once again. I know that, you know, I've kind of subtly over time been a Faith Hybrid salesman, but dude, there's a good reason, dude. Like, Faith just has so many good things. And to be honest, get pancaked. GG's, dude. The monkey had enough of you and turned you into a batter of pancakes. The thing is that holy is kind of like this game's version of dark damage in a way. Like with a weapon with sacred blade on it, you can just make your weapons do a bazillion damage. Um, and yeah, it's just great. And then you've got all the different incantations that are also super good. Now we have an interesting Shadowkeep invasion. This is obviously one of the most like interesting levels in like all of Soul's history in terms of its layout, its verticality, all of this shit. And also, it's also a really good playground for gankers that are looking for a bit of a challenge. My R1 spam wins. And also, look how good of a co I am. Nut. GG's, dude. GG's. I know, I'm a fantastic co. You don't have to tell me, dude. But, yeah, the Fire Knights are bastards, honestly. Like, the best way of killing them is just using a Colossal and stun locking them for infinitum because they are fucking nasty if you're not poise breaking them. Like their stupid fire spell that you have to roll, like there's no choice. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Such a fun enemy. Now this right here is how you actually play invasions. Don't outspace, don't outtime, monkey L2 when your opponents don't expect it and one shot them. GG's, dude. That's how you actually play Elden Ring. You one shot and nothing else. GG's. But yeah, fantastic area. And also, I think the DLC added some really good areas for invasions. Now, obviously, it has its fair share of really bad ones, like the spot right before Bale. But Castle Ensis is a pretty fun place to invade, at least in terms of the ones I've had so far. Shadow Keep is pretty goated. Uh, you also have Anir Alem. Bro, Anir Alem is actually like I know it's not the world's longest area, but like the platforming and the verticality of that level is just it's just an absolute treat. I love it so much. Um, Now Bellarat, it's a good level, but the main issue with Bellarat is that the enemies are not the world's greatest. The horn enemies will tear someone a new one, but there's not that many. There's not that many in Bellarat. There's a couple, but it is what it is. But right there, you did see something interesting. While I didn't get any clips of me ledging somebody, the last hit of the vortex is able to knock people on their ass. So there is, say, in an area like here in the Halig tree, which sorry, the intrusive thoughts won for a moment. In an area like this, where there is plenty of areas to fall to your death, the Euporia could put in a shit ton of work and be able to flatline somebody with a "you died" screen. So I've not landed it yet, but I probably will in the future. I will definitely be using this thing again. Now, right here, we have someone else also enjoying the Euporia, but the thing is that I am the king of monkey mashing, and he's pressing R1 out of hit stun? Nah, bro. Catch the Omega Nut. How about that? Now, we do accidentally let him get a heal off right there, but it is okay. Also, it is worth mentioning how good the Twin Blades crouch attack is. The first hit does around 50 poise damage, and then the second one does not quite 90, but it's like 87 something, like a decimal point. That is more than the standing R1, and while it does take crouching to access it, I think its first hit is 1 frame faster than the standing R1 as well. Now that doesn't make it just strictly better, because it is still it still requires a crouch to access it, but it's okay. Speaking of okay, what's not okay are the amount of people that I am finding that are using the bone arrow, the bone bow. This thing, whoever coded this, I will literally go over to FromSoft headquarters and have a long, hard talk with whoever made this piece of shit. Okay, who thought a barrage weapon that homes in on people in a game that has status arrows? You don't even have to get to the status arrow part. Just that first sentence I said was a bad idea. You gonna do something about that vigor, bro? Nice vigor, bro. That was really good. So yeah, now we're just gonna absolutely cook him for the bone bow. Uh, yeah, like I've seen it so much in the last couple days since I started playing again, and it is just like I mean I don't know. Like I personally have reached an ascended uh, I've reached an ascended plane of existence. I do not get easily angered by this video juego. Like, I may call somebody a shitter, I might talk some shit, but since the DLC didn't fix that many things, instead it just introduced a lot of things that are, may or may not be a problem. I'm just like, you know what? This game is a circus. It's a clown game for clown people, and that's perfect for me because I'm looking for the Clissy. So I mean, what? Huh? Nah, that wasn't me. That was not me. I'll have to edit that out too. But yeah, anyway, we have this guy up here pressing the blade up here at the top. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He tried to R1 out of hit stun 6 times. Just let that sink in. The AI in this game doesn't do that. Get cooked. Get literally Kobe'd off the edge. There is a human somewhere out there in the ether that watched Catch Flame hit him 6 times and chose to swing a 7th time. If I had literally like 10 more mana, I would have zeroed to death him by just standing there and just creating a little bit of flame from my palm. How crazy is that? Oh, speaking of crazy, the poison exaltations, you need to be running them on every single build you have. We are in one of the early game's poison areas, but watch the extra amount of damage I'm doing with this crazy shit. Oh my fucking god. Yo, like, it doesn't matter if you're the one proccing the poison. If poison just happens in the vicinity from any source, you get that buff for 20 seconds. And so thankfully I was a little bit more locked in and thought to actually go for that because dude, that was ridiculous. Now granted, I'm trying to de-rust. I've had quite a few blunders dying to stupid shit on stream the last couple days, wanting to throw myself off a cliff, having died to really stupid things, but it is what it is. Here we have a frenzy dude, and I'm about to say Gano. Gano, bro. So we have all of this right here, all the way at the bottom. Now, granted, this is a actually farmed character, and I don't want to use one of my 8 frenzy boluses. Thank you, Miyazaki, for once again not fixing the shit item economy problem. Really appreciate that, bud. But either way, like, bro, I'm not even wearing like good focus armor, and just look how large our defense is right now to it. That is crazy. Of course, they get a hunter because that is needed. The question becomes, can I get this kill right here, right now? Can I get what matters? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Twin blade, twin can, brother. This thing is my baby. I love it so much. Yeah, and by this point, we probably would have been frenzied too if we hadn't put on all that stuff. Even though we haven't used the bolus, but yeah, I mean, what can I say? This guy's essentially area controlling us with his Flame of Frenzy. Somehow missed that right there. I didn't see him roll it, so don't know how that happened. But yeah, we are in a bit of a predicament. Now we do have technically a one of the pests nearby, but I don't want to walk out into the Scarlet Rot Swamp for him to get aggroed. Well, actually, I spoke too soon. Would you look at that? Actually, would you look at that? There he is. Uh, he at least shot once, but honestly, that might have almost been a cook right there.
Nut.
GG's, dude. Oh my god, that Ash of War, bro. I wasn't even wearing the Warrior Jar Shard. I was not even wearing the Warrior Jar Shard, and we did that level of damage. Absolutely crazy, dude. And it's also it's like the swaddling cloth and the like statuses and stuff where you will still get luster stacks built up on phantom hits. So this weapon might actually be pretty decent against players that live far away from you and you have a lot of latency with. I didn't fight a huge amount of latent players yesterday. I only fought like two groups of people that were very clearly from Japan. But yeah, you can probably still stack those up very easily with the phantom hits. Well, like I know you can. It's just I didn't have it happen too many times. But yeah, we've got a mage plus Reduvia, aka I love Elden Ring. Like if you're not having a mage and Reduvia press the L2 button over and over, like are you really playing Elden Ring? Are you really playing Elden Ring if that's not happening? I don't think you are. Now, we do have some super powerful skeletons here that are going to be able to help us. Oh my god, he got saved. He got saved. He actually almost got sent back to the ocean below. But it was not meant to be. This guy right here, he starts hiding from me. And I'm like, why are you hiding from me? Why are you doing that? Oh! Oh, he pulled out blind spot backhand blades.
Yeah, bro.
Like this Ash of War, like here's the thing, guys. I have a very big video project coming out within hopefully the next couple weeks about the backhand blades. I think that the backhand blades are mostly fine, except for fucking blind spot and swift slash. Now swift slash used to be the more clearly get absolutely dunked, brother, and catch these gadooshas right here. Monkey. But anyway, yeah, if you take those Ashes of War away, I think backhand blades are mostly okay. Like perhaps their damage could stand to be a little bit lower, but I mean, realistically, like I'll just talk about it once I get to that video. Now here we have a fantastic example of roll discipline. If you don't know how to roll properly, just emulate this guy. Yup. Yeah. A gadoosh. Yo, GG's, guys. GG's for the fun Reduvia Mage Backhand Blade Blind Step gameplay. That's some good shit right there. Speaking of good shit, I see that you have walked the entire distance of this catacomb. Would it not suck if an invincible invader sent you to the moon? I am very sorry, and thank you for buying Elden Ring. I definitely don't have a gun held to my head right now by my roommate Miyazaki. See, the thing is that I left him in Florida, but he fucking tracked my IP, and yeah, he's my roommate again, and he's constantly holding a shotgun directly to my cranium. Okay, speaking of cranium, look at this guy, and you're gonna see, bro. These right here, these guys right here are the most interactive and fun invasion of the entire video. This invasion, what an invasion. What a beautiful invasion. I really do respect mages, I really do. Wow, what beautiful pretty blue colors. I love the pretty blue colors. Wow, those are some beautiful colors. Thank you, Donald Trump. Now, if you would mind giving me back my headset. Yeah. You can see how this is going so far.
It does not end for 10 minutes.
Or however long this invasion was. They're just still going. I'm behind a fucking wall. They're still going. Both of them. Not running out of mana. Like, how much blue do you need? Let me ask you this. How much blue do you need to succeed as a spellcaster? Okay? Like, I would argue that if you have, like, 20 mind, you're set. Like, even if you're over leveled, like, 20's good. Why are people out here upgrading this stat to like 60 or something? Like, that is the only way I can rationalize them just like using one blue like every 2 minutes. Speaking of blue,
They get a fucking hunter.
yeah, bro, like this game's balance truly. Wait, why did I even say balance? I'm talking about Elden Ring. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It was a little bit quick to imply such a thing. What we're really just hoping for is for the game to be playable, and at least it's playable for them. If this was a game of chess, if this was a game of Magic the Gathering, they would be using one of those skip your opponent's turn cards over and over while Omniscience is on the board, so it doesn't cost them anything. You know what, actually? That just reminded me. So I got like my entire friend group in high school playing Magic the Gathering, right? And we played Standard at the time, which was like M19 to like... No, it was like Rivals of Ixalan to Guilds of Ravnica at that time. And I had buddies that were running normal things, like one was running red aggro. My personal favorite was Boros. And then I had this one motherfucker, okay? This one motherfucker ran a Wooburg ramp, get to 10 mana, and win the whole fucking game, okay? So the way that he would do it is he'd use all of this mana ramp, right, to get to 10 mana as quick as he could, and using all of these cards that just like mill his own deck, okay? And he would get Omniscience, and he had 1,000-Year Storm, which every single time you would use a fucking instant or sorcery, the next time you use one within that same step would recast it. And so he had like whatever the skip your opponent's turn card was at that time, casting it for free, and 1,000-Year Storming it with all of the other like ramps, instances, and sorceries that he was using to be able to skip like literally like 10 turns. And he was using the Jace Planeswalker that would cause you, that had the effect of you winning the game if you ran out of cards. Because the rule is that you lose if you run out of cards to pull, right? But this one flipped that on its script. So literally his whole deck was about rushing Omniscience and just winning the game instantly. Is that based or is that cringe? Everybody at the group fucking hated fighting him, bro. Like, absolutely disgusting. Oh yeah, there's an invasion going on. I guess that guy died to a furry. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, bro. God, man, I haven't played Magic in so long, but those were some good old days, man. It was my buddies that played Melee, and we all made the Smash Club and stuff like that. I even hosted like just like a little tourney at a game store nearby. And yeah, one of the things that we also did was I had gotten perhaps too many Magic cards, and he got into all of that shit and started winning the game by milling himself to death with Omniscience and skipping turns, which is just fucking crazy. So yeah, anyway, I suppose we're like playing Elden Ring or something. Yeah, running attack, miscue, an actual R2. Just another one. Just another one like that. Yo, GG's host, and GG's Phantom. And GG's the fucking hunter who came into the world. I hope you guys are happy to see me back. When I have normal videos ready, they'll be during the week. When I have an episode of the Beggar's Run ready, it'll be on Saturdays, and Sundays will be for big edited videos. With that being said, I hope you guys have a good day. Peace out.